Have you ever woken up in the morning and feel like everything around you is just so chaotic? You rush to go over and brush your teeth and shower really quick so that way you could sit down at your desk and start working, and it feels like the entire day just slips away from you. And you're just constantly catching up, and there's all this work and you feel all this stress and anxiety. If that's you, then in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly why you're feeling that way and how you can prevent that feeling in the future. Because I used to be the exact same way, right? I used to be the person who rolled up to all my baseball games, all my baseball practices at the last second, right before they started. I would start the practice feeling super in a rush and anxious. I would show up to things right before they started. I would always feel like I was playing catch up, okay? Until I learned this one thing. And it's this one principle that the good days that you have start the day before. And it sounds super simple, okay? And you might be like, no, Nick, it can't be that simple. It needs to be way more complex. The more that I learn, the more I realize the most powerful lessons, the most important things for most people are just doing the basics, right? Literally just doing the basics. A quote that I absolutely love is the difference between somebody who is a beginner versus somebody who's advanced is the advanced person just never doesn't do the basics, right? Which I absolutely love, because if you watch like high level athletes in any sport, and like if you're a nerd about like any sport, right? Or whatever it is that you really enjoy. If you look at the people who are the best in the world, they are so fundamentally sound. It's obviously, yes, maybe they have like some exceptional talent, right? Physically or whatever. But most of the time, they are just so fundamentally sound that they can stack skills on top of that rock solid foundation. It's like, you know, if you want to grow a pyramid super high, then you want to build that base as wide as you can possibly build it, because the wider that the base is, the taller the point of the pyramid. What's the point I'm actually trying to make? The point I'm trying to make is that if you focus on having a good day tomorrow, the night before, it will make the next day so much easier, right? And I'm gonna give you a couple tactical examples. And once you hear these, you're probably gonna be like, Nick, you're absolutely a psychopath. And you know, I'm very, very, very detail oriented, but I credit a lot of the success and a lot of the progress that I've made in my life to doing just these very minute details, okay? So number one of the first things that I do the night before, whatever it is, the next day, I always write out my to-do list, right? I'll write out exactly what meetings I have on the calendar or whatever I need to do at what specific time. And I run my entire day off of my Google Calendar. So if it's not on my calendar, it's not going to get done. My team knows that. Anybody that knows me knows that. If it's not on my calendar, it's not real. If somebody's like, hey, want to talk to you at 10 a.m. and it's not on my calendar, I'm not calling you, because it's not on my calendar. It's not real. Right? I literally had a call the other day with an old friend, caught up with him, and I put that call on my calendar, right? It was literally on my calendar. I need to schedule those things out, because that sort of structure, that sort of organization, that sort of planning is what gives me the freedom to be able to think clearly and function in the day-to-day. Because the thing is, we only have so much willpower. We only have so much brain juice throughout the day, right? Think about your brain as an iPhone. When you wake up in the morning, ideally, if you get good sleep, you're gonna wake up with 100% battery. And every single little decision that we make, every single thing that takes brain power is slowly depleting our battery, which is why the most common time for people to binge or break on a diet is late at night. It's also why if you train in the evening, it's much more easy for you to skip, right? Because you have way less willpower. It's also why later in the day, you're probably not as creative. It's probably a lot easier for you to be in a bad mood because you're actually tired, you're actually fatigued, and our brains are just like an iPhone or a computer, right? So the first thing that I do is I plan out my entire day the next day. What are the top 3 things, and honestly, most of the time, what is the number one thing that I need to do that if I get it done, it will make sure that I am taking steps towards this big goal that I have? Because in a lot of these videos, I talk about, the habits and the actions that we need to do. And so I like to think, what are the habits that I need to have in order to achieve the goal, in order to become the person who achieves the goals that I have for myself, right? And so that'll be at the top of my list. So for example, I put mindset YouTube video on my to-do list today, okay? I also put follow-ups. Those are the two things that I absolutely needed to do, and then I have a bunch of other meetings, okay? Then I'll put these little tasks that I have. So just earlier, I'm going back to Minnesota for my grandpa's services, right? And so I had to book that flight. That was on my list of like little tasks. So I have my big 3 things, ideally one to 3 things, no more than 1 to 3. If you have more than 1 to 3 things that you need to do the next day, you're gonna be overwhelmed. You're never gonna complete everything that's on your list, and you're gonna feel absolutely terrible, right? So 1 to 3 things, the big things that are gonna move the needle forward. Then I have my list of tasks that I'm going to do, okay? And so those could be like booking a flight, or I'm gonna book a haircut after this, right? Little things like that, little itty bitty tasks that I need to get done. Then I have my list of meetings that I'm gonna take for the day, okay? And every single day I live in this container where from 5 to 8, that is my time for me to go to the gym, eat breakfast, and get in a really good headspace. Then from 1 to 2, every single day, I'm going to eat lunch, which is basically just a smoothie, and then I'm gonna walk. And then as soon as 6 o'clock hits, then I'm gonna make dinner, I'm gonna go for a walk, I'm gonna start my bedtime routine, and I'm gonna do it all over again, right? It is my goal to be as consistent as possible, to literally be a human robot, because I understand the power of consistency, right? So you can see how detailed I am with my planning. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna plan out my entire next day the evening before. I just write it down on like a little notepad. It has like a to-do list on it, et cetera, okay? The second thing that I do is I will get as many things done in the evening that need to get done in the morning, okay? So for example, I'm always going to run the dishes before I go to bed, so that way I can wake up with clean dishes, so I can immediately just make my protein shake first thing in the morning. And if I wanted to optimize it even more, I could probably make my protein shake the night before, which actually, come to think of it, I'm gonna do that today, okay? So I make the protein shake first thing in the morning, so I run the dishwasher the night before, so that way my everything that I need, my pan is clean, so that way when I come back from the gym, I can make my steak ASAP, and my blender is already ready, okay? So I will make sure that I run the dishes the night before, okay? I also will lay my clothes out, the clothes that I'm gonna wear to the gym and the clothes that I'm gonna wear during the day the next day. I will lay both of those out and put them inside of my bathroom. The reason why I do that is so that way I don't have to spend any brain power thinking about it when I wake up in the morning, right? The last thing I want to do is think about what do I want to wear? It's like, no, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I need to get to the gym ASAP so I can get my day going, right? That is not brain power that I want to spend, okay? Because it might seem like it's not a ton of brain power, but it's death by a million cuts. If you're making all of these little decisions, all of these little things, you're pulling at your cognitive function, and your attention during the day and your energy levels are so important, so important. As I've optimized this stuff, I literally feel superhuman. I feel like I could, live this same day over and over and over and over and over again, because I've created boundaries for myself to where I have time to work on my health, I have time to wind down in the evening and prepare for my next day, right? As soon as my day today is over, my work day today is over, and I eat dinner, I see it as I'm preparing for tomorrow. Tomorrow has already started. And so a lot of people, they don't see it that way. They wake up in the morning and they're like, okay, what am I gonna do today? Today just started. Whereas I started planning for today yesterday, so that way I can be fully prepared to hit the ground running and run as fast as I can when I have the most energy. Right? You can probably hear it in my voice. Like I just have this overwhelming amount of energy because I can focus right here, right now. I can be present because I'm not worried about all these other things, right? Another thing that I've done, and this is like maybe a little bit of a side tangent of planning, but I've systematized so many things in my life, right? For example, I will put the amount of hangers, like whenever I use a shirt, I will put the hangers that were used for that shirt in a specific place. So that way, when I get my laundry done, because I don't even want to think about doing my laundry, right? I don't even want to think about doing my laundry. And the reason why is because I need to be focusing on how can I impact more people? How can I grow my business? How can I show up as the best version of myself? So I will place these hangers aside so that way when I give my laundry to the laundry person, it is the exact amount of hangers that they need in order to hang up all my shirts, right? Every single time, like clockwork, like clockwork, like clockwork. And if you guys haven't noticed, I wear more or less the same things every single day. I wear a plain shirt, Lululemon or Built, and then I wear joggers. Or if it's nice out, I'll wear shorts. But basic colors, like easy to mix and match. I'm not trying to think about a whole lot of other stuff. And you might think, Nick, this is overkill, and you know what? Maybe it is for you. But the point is, you gotta find what works best for you, and you gotta plan everything out the day before, so that way when tomorrow hits, you can just, boom, hit the ground running, you're ready to attack it. Because I literally used to just wake up and be like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and like be in this fight or flight all day. Do you think that ever leads to good outcomes? Do you think that leads to good videos? Do you think that leads to me showing up properly on my calls with my clients or with my team and being the leader that they need me to be? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So my message is very simple. If you want to be more productive, if you want to be more present, if you want to have a better life in the day-to-day, just start planning out your next day tomorrow. And then over time, you can add some of these systems if you want that I've added in my life. Maybe you don't need to be as psychotic as I am, but that's what works for me. It's worked exceptionally well. So hopefully you guys got a ton of value out of this video. Happy Friday, y'all. Catch you in the next one. Peace.